It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Of course, it's going to be a good morning when we're together, my love. Yes, indeed, because it's all about getting you feeling good on your Feel Good Breakfast show right here on Expresso. Now, look, we have one of the biggest weekends looming. This, honestly and truly for me, is something that I believe each and every person should be worried about, in the sense that we need to get more and more of us going out to register to go and vote, especially falling into the bracket where there were young people in the last election who just genuinely decided that they were not going to even be part of the election. So I told you that before the break, we were going to be meeting the man who I think will one day be president. Yes, he is someone who is not just a law king, someone who continues to push the boundary when it comes to getting into politics, but he's also an analyst of it and allows us to just consume it in the best way possible. Everybody, please welcome to the show an absolute king. It is none other than mighty Jamie. Jamie, how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for the warm welcome.
Of course. And Jamie, I love what you do. I think it's so incredible, especially because when it comes to politics, a lot of people don't understand it. So the fact that you break it down and you allow us to be part of it, no matter who we are, it's amazing. But I want to please ask you, because now that we're going towards the elections and even voter registration weekend, because you have to register before you vote, what do you say to the people who are currently sitting there right now who kind of like don't really feel like they need to be a part of the voting?
Well, if you don't vote, you basically give away your voice to hold politicians accountable. You give away your voice to make your issues the most important issues on the agenda.
Yeah.
And one thing we don't often think about is that those who govern, they're not rulers who are divine, chosen by God.
Yes.
They're chosen to govern by the consent of the majority. That means that they don't just get to wear that T-shirt of being a member of parliament. But once they wear that T-shirt, they have a tremendous amount of power.
Sure.
They get to decide how the insurance companies treat you. They get to decide how the medical aid treats you. They get to decide what kind of service you get in the police station, what kind of service you get all across the country at the various points of interface. So if you walk away from the decision-making and you let others choose for you, you will end up with a team that you're not proud of and cannot hold accountable for 5 years.
Sure, and it is 5 years. That's the thing. But this is what I will need to ask you then now as well, because of course we're going to the voter registration weekend on the 3rd and the 4th, literally tomorrow and the next day. And a lot of people haven't either registered to vote, or they've registered to vote once and they think they're not registered. So if I've registered to vote in the past, let's say even 10 years ago, does that mean I'm able to vote this year?
Yes, once you're registered, you're registered. And you can go to the website, elections.org.za, make sure that your details are up to date. Because if you don't check which province you're registered in, that will affect one of your votes, because you're able to vote national anywhere. But in order to vote for provincial, you need to make sure that you're in the right province as per your voter registration status. So if you are registered in Western Cape and you're currently here in Gauteng and you will be voting in Gauteng, you need to update that. But aside from that, once you're registered, you're registered. And registering is so easy. You can go physically over this weekend, as you've stated, and you can even go today and do it online. And some people have said they've done it in under 3 minutes.
I did it in less than 3 minutes. I set a record, Jamie, actually, because I was in my room and I quickly did it. 1, 2, 1, 2.
We should get unregistered people and see how quickly they can register online.
Yes, Jamie, I love this. You are a smart man. But I also feel like when we talk about this, there are a lot of people who just genuinely don't even know that, you know, when it comes to this registering thing, you do need to make sure that you register in the right place. And by that, I'm talking about myself. In the last election, I couldn't vote because I went to the voting station and they were like, my babes, you are not registered here. And it made me really unhappy, because honestly, I wanted to be part of that really big thing that was happening. But there are people who are out there that kind of feel a little bit despondent and just think that, you know what, my vote doesn't count in and amongst the 60 million people in South Africa. What do you say to those people?
Every vote counts. And in fact, if you think like that, don't forget that there are other people also thinking at the individualistic level. Everybody thinking that one vote doesn't matter. But this is a very contested election. There are so many new parties that have emerged, so many different voices that are contesting for power, old voices, new voices. And what that means is that at the margins, 1, 2, 10, 1,000 votes are going to make the difference.
Sure.
If everybody doesn't think they make the difference, then nobody makes the difference. There is power in one, and people mustn't forget that it's not just about your vote.
Yeah.
It's also about what you can do in the process. You can convince your family. You can convince your friend.
Sure.
You can convince your neighborhood. You have influence more than you understand. In every area and space that you occupy, you can have conversations about this election. So if you are not participating, you walk away not only from the action of voting, but from the process of evaluating manifestos, evaluating leaders, and making
Yay.
sure that everyone around you can participate. This election, 2024, is as important as the 1994 election.
Ooh, and to think that it's 30 years into democracy, that's incredible. And you know, Jamie, you just mentioned something, because I feel like there's a lot of us who also aren't going out to register because we don't know who we're going to vote for. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know who I'm going to vote for, but I'm going to figure it out. So Jamie, this is why I want to ask you, what do we need to evaluate, like you were saying, in terms of the manifesto and such, when we are saying who exactly should be the person that should get my vote?
You want me to evaluate?
Please don't evaluate. Just tell us where we need to look.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So I think at the first level, people must be very clear what matters to them.
Yes.
For some people, the treatment by insurance companies matters a lot to them. For some people, the fact that they have to pay exorbitant medical aid matters a lot to them.
Yeah.
Some people are paying through the nose for private schools because they can't trust the government schools. That matters to them.
Yes.
Some people can't sleep safely at night because they are so scared of their home being invaded, their children being attacked, their wives being attacked. That in and of itself is a political issue. It gets solved through the framework of politics, because the Minister of Police is appointed by the president, and the president comes from a particular political party. So number one, be very clear, what are your issues? Are your issues healthcare? Are they policing? Are they load shedding? So many people have had to buy power banks, solar power, this and that.
Oh, we all have.
Expenses through the nose, right? And that affects. Some people are worried about the price of fuel. So understand your priorities. That's one. Number two, then go and check all of the registered parties. Get to understand. Some of them have been running for a long time. What do they actually stand for? What do they want to do? And also, who is leading them? And what is the leadership track record of that person? If you get a soccer player who's saying that he's going to fix ESCOM, you may end up with a bit of a problem there, because the issue may be correct.
Yes.
But the credentials may have a gap.
Wrong. And that happens in South Africa, where people say they have matric certificates and they don't. But it's fine. Jamie, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. I mean, I feel like you're a wealth of knowledge, and this is why I say he's going to be our president come one day. Mark my words. But 27th of April, 1994 was the date where history was made. And again, just like Jamie said, I think history will be made once we do it, in terms of taking the responsibility into our hands to go and vote. No matter who it is you're voting for, it is literally in your hands. So, Expresso family, do the right thing and make sure that you are registered, all in the name of going to vote in the 2024 election. For now, though, standing by is the Cape Town family, ready with some Friday vibes.